in hand. And just to spice it up even more, the two teams meet at the Etihad on Sunday. Tim Sherwood, good morning. Right, we saw a Manchester City fan mocking Arsenal by suggesting they are bottling the title. Are they?
We've been saying for a long time, because since they've had the lead, that it's only their mentality that's going to stop them. I still believe that. So you're always going to get the fingers pointed at you until you actually do it and cross the line. Obviously, 3 times now they finished second. There's a couple of reasons why they finished second. Well, the main reason is Pep Guardiola and Man City have been too good in recent times. Liverpool on the other occasion. But we're having such a lead, what they've had this season, and strengthening their squad. Yes, they've picked up injuries in recent weeks, but it's only going to be questioning their bottle and their mentality. And it's natural for people to do that, Tom, because it's quite evident they have the top class players. They have a very good manager who's been progressive in where he's taken the club, but they need to get over the line. It was only 2 weeks ago we're talking about the quadruple, 3 weeks ago. Now we're talking about, can they win one? You know, they've got a difficult game in midweek against Sporting. They take a lead into that game. I expect them to win it. It's going to be very difficult to win the Champions League, but the one they want, which all the fans want, is the Premier League, because over that amount of games, 38 games, the best team gets over the line. And having a lead for such a long time, to throw it away now would be unthinkable for Arsenal.
How can they change that? If their mentality at the moment is a problem, how can they change it in the next few weeks?
Well, they're going to have to. Their mentality, they're going to have to. I just think the manager needs to take the pressure off them. I'm not sure about. I mean, like I say, I'm a huge admirer of Mikel Arteta, but I just think it's getting to him. You can see in the press conferences. I didn't like the pre-match press conference. I'd just rather he says nothing.
So the pre-match news conference, he was banging the table, wasn't he?
Bring your lunch, bring your dinner, breakfast, bring your dinner. I mean, why? Just say nothing. Just say as little as you possibly can. Just the pressure's on your players. We know that. I know Mikel's probably trying to deflect it onto him, but I would rather them just be in it together and just concentrate on the game. And they seem to be playing. I had my eye on that game at the weekend. They're scared. They're playing scared. And when you're playing a dangerous side, we have to give Bournemouth a lot of credit. They're very dangerous, Bournemouth, the way they set themselves up, because they got nothing to lose. They've got an outside chance of getting into Europa League, and all of their players want to play for Arsenal. So it's a great platform for them to go and showcase themselves, and they won comfortably in my eyes. I just felt they was always under control. They had the game under control, and the anxiety which is breeding to the fans, but largely because of Mikel's antics on the side. I mean, he doesn't stop. I mean, he's there. He says, the passion, I love the passion, but sometimes you've got to curb it. You just got to take a deep breath and let the players, you've done your work during the week, let them get on with it. You know, he's like, pressure there, go and get the ball. You know, he's playing the game for him, which I half admire, but I just think he needs to take a step back, because the fans are looking at him on the side of the pitch and thinking, well, he's getting a little bit anxious. We need to get anxious. You see him boo at the end of the game there. You know, the team who have got a fantastic lead going into the last 6 games of the season, you should be booed off by their home fans. But I can understand why, because they're disappointed. They want it so much, the fans, but so do the players, and so does Mikel. They're capable of getting over the line. It's a huge game. Gary Neville says it there. It's a cup final. It is the biggest cup final they're ever going to play next week. If they win that game next week, they can win the league. Gary's absolutely right. They will not lose this Premier League if they win that game next week. So it's down to one game. But I think they need players back fit. I think they need Calafiori back, and they need Timber. Because if they're not creating, not at the moment, scoring goals at the opposite end, they need to keep a clean sheet. Because a draw is not the end of the world for them against Man City.
So you've talked about the mental side. The injuries there covers the physical side. But what about the tactical side, all right? We can show some clips that maybe teams have worked out how to play against Arsenal.
Go out and have the opportunity next week to have one game of football to win the Premier League. That is what is at stake next week.
So you think if Arsenal win next week, they win the title?
Yeah.
What if they draw Or if Manchester City win, do they lose the title?
No. If Man City win, then it's still up for grabs. I mean, obviously, you've got a great game in hand. Then it goes down to, we saw they scored 3 yesterday against Chelsea. So the goal difference, I think, is 3 now. So, you know, if there's a turnaround next week when they play head-to-head, there'd be hardly anything in it in the goal difference. But they can't think like that. They can't go out trying to look for the draw. They have to go on the front foot. I believe that they're capable of going on the front foot. Man City's weakness is defending. Attacking at the moment, they can score from all angles. They're dominating games. We see them dominate Arsenal in the cup final. Mikel's going to have to learn from that. And obviously, you'll try and play his best team. Kepa will not be playing. It'll be Raya. But Raya needs to get back to some sort of confidence. He's been fantastic with his hands. But sometimes the anxiety comes when the goalkeeper he started panicking outside of his foot, trying to bend it around one of the centre forwards to his right back is not the way to go. Confidence, give it to play, have a respect for the team or of taking you to this position. It's all about one word, and we're going to say that a lot today. Where the bottom end of the division is confidence. They need the confidence, but why shouldn't you be confident if you've got a lead going into this game, and you know if you win this football match, it's pretty much done and dusted. You should be confident. The team what should be panicking is the Man City side, but they won't be. And you know why? Because they've got a manager who's been there and done it, and they've got a load of players in that group who have known course and distance. They know how to get over the line, and they know full well, Gary said it there, you smell blood. They smell blood. They know that Arsenal are panicking. When they watch their game back, they will analyse their game against Bournemouth. They will know they will cause loads of problems at Bournemouth because confidence. They're not confident at the moment. They're not playing. They're not firing on all cylinders. They're not scoring the goals at the moment from the set pieces, but they're certainly not scoring from open play. When you look at Man City yesterday, the contrast between the first half against Chelsea and the second half, there's one reason for that. The manager has gone in there at half-time, Pep Guardiola, and he's given them a rocket. And he's told them, come on, take the shackles off. Let's get at them. Semenyo, Doku, when you get the ball, don't play safe. Dribble at the... And they took the game to Chelsea and they ripped them apart in the second half. But one man, the manager, Pep Guardiola, has done that for them.
Well, Manchester City fans, we are going to be talking about Manchester City very, very soon. And Arsenal fans, we want to hear from you as well. You know how to get in touch by now. Now, Sky Sports are partnered with Finalysis to discover true fan opinion. To have your say in your club, download the Finalysis app now. Scan the QR code for more details. We're going to stick with Arsenal, though, because one of their supporters, Scarlett Katz Roberts, joins us now. Good morning to you, Scott. I know it's not a great morning for you, but the term bottling it, are Arsenal bottling it?
That certainly looks like it at the moment, doesn't it? I mean, I said on Saturday after the game, that was a demonic parody of Arsenal. That's what we've been accused of being all season. I think we created 0.17 XG from open play. Our only threat was from set pieces. We couldn't progress the ball. We actually had no control in the game. And I understand process goes out the window a little bit at this stage of the season, and it's just about getting over the line. But we simply won't win enough games if we play matches like that, and that's what really terrifies me.
Tim says the biggest problem is mentality. Do you agree?
It's really hard to put my finger on, Tom. I've seen these players, I've seen this Arsenal team look absolutely undeniable across the 4 competitions at times in the season. And I know that when they play at the level they're capable of, they are one of the best teams in Europe. I mean, that's why we're here. That's why we're on the cusp of potentially being in the semi-finals of the Champions League. I don't think it's just mentality. I mean, I think it's ironic. Tim mentioned that we're missing some key players. And actually, the last time we chatted, Tim said maybe I was putting a bit too much stock in missing players. But look, it's tough. It's tough to go into games handicapped without your most important players at this stage of the season. And that's a problem as well. That's a sporting factor that we have to consider in how Arsenal have been able to set up for title charges this season and in seasons gone by. So look, there's something going on with the mentality, but there's a lot of things going on, and I cannot explain why the quality isn't there.
The mentality will always be questioned until they prove to everyone they can get over the line. It's just natural that that's going to happen. Who do you feel is the most important player at the moment? And I'm sure you're going to say someone who's missing. For me, is Timber. Timber is everything because he has got the mentality. He has got the strength. He can help you keep clean sheets when you're not scoring at the other end. Which player do you feel?
Any one of Timber, Calafiori, Saka. I think
so anyone who's not there.
Tim was a massive miss. But for me, actually, the bigger question about Arsenal is I don't think we know out of the players who are even on the pitch, given who pulled out of international breaks, etc., who is actually at their top level and who is dealing with something that we don't know about. I mean, we saw the players consoling Zubimendi on the weekend. He was poor again. He was brilliant in the first part of the season. I wonder, like, is there, are there issues with the team physically that we don't know about, even in the players who are on the pitch? Kai Havertz, for example, he's come back from effectively a year out of the game. He's not going to be the Kai Havertz that we want him to be right now. And I think that's another thing that's really hampering us, is having these players. Odegaard, another one, he comes in for a game, he goes out. Eze looked all right when he came on, back from another injury. So it's not just players missing, it's players not being at their level as well.
His character now is going to get you over the line. It's nothing about tactics. It's not even about playing well. It's about getting over the line. Arsenal have done that all season. They've found a way to win games when they're not playing well. They need to do that now. You have one game left, in my opinion. In my mentality, going into this, if I was an Arsenal player and Mikel Arteta, one game of football to win the Premier League, and it's next weekend.
Are you confident that you will win it next weekend?
I'm not confident at all. I mean, I think the way that this team looks at the moment, I can't see us not conceding some comical early goal.
But that's the issue.
Gabriel clearance. I just think that everything, we're being punished, that we're receiving the maximum punishment for any mistake or shortcoming in the team at the moment. And I'm desperate for that dynamic to change. And look, that dynamic is flipped on its head completely if we even get any kind of result at the Etihad. I think if we draw at the Etihad, we're okay. But I can't see us not conceding, and that feels unthinkable to say about this team.
No, we'll just end with a voice note from an Arsenal fan called Gary.
I said this would happen to Arsenal about 2 months ago. Arteta's putting too much pressure on them. Lifelong Arsenal supporter, but he's got to go this season, in my opinion, if they don't win nothing.
But very quickly, Scarlett, do you agree that he goes if you win nothing? Remember that you can still win quite a lot.
No, I disagree. I disagree with that guy.
Okay. All right. Gary, his name is. All right, Scarlett, thank you.
Well, that was the stunning result of the weekend at the Emirates. And Joe, nobody saw that coming.
Nobody saw that coming. And Bournemouth were well-deserved winners. They were top drawer, moved the ball. Arsenal, it just seems like it's this fear on their back that they can't get out. Like, Declan Rice missing passes, Gyökeres, his balls bouncing off him. All these little things that were better than...
What we're doing, guys?
Hey, we finished talking. Yeah. We finished talking about Man City.
You don't invite on the show anymore.
Mind you, you're an Arsenal fan. You're an Arsenal fan. We're talking after. What do you think? You work 8 days a week. That's why you can't come on our show anymore.
I know, but I'd like to be invited every now and then. I love this show. You used to be good to me, but you don't treat me with no respect anymore. You don't ring, you don't text, no nothing. After that result as well, City out back. Whoa, let's go.
Thanks, Minx. That's Micah Richards making a guest appearance, in case you didn't already know. And he is an Arsenal fan as a kid as well, but obviously he's in Manchester City.
If Arsenal had won and City had lost, he would have been singing the Arsenal song.
There we go. Where were we? Oh, yes, Arsenal.
Yeah.
And you can feel the nerves around the stadium. And is that down to because the players haven't got any major trophy over the line yet, most of them?
Definitely. But a lot of it comes from the fans as well. The fans are nervous. The fans are so desperate for the team to do well, and that transmits onto the pitch as well. It can do anyway. And I think it's not just happened in the last week or two. I think a lot of people have commented how it feels quite tense around the Emirates at the moment because it's so important to them. I mean, they haven't won the league in a long, long time. This is their best chance in a long, long time. They've been so many points clear. It's understandable, that nervousness and that apprehension, let's say. But they've got to find a way because, they're never going to get a better chance than they are at the moment.
Now, on that experience, when the season gets going, Sir Alex Ferguson, Arsene Wenger, Jose Mourinho, they all used to say April. April's the time it gets going. The season starts. when the results really matter. Have a look at this. In the Premier League, Mikel Arteta against Pep Guardiola. Pep Guardiola's played 30 nights, won 31 of them and only lost 3. Only 11 wins from 26 games in April for Mikel Arteta and Arsenal. And that really is just indicating how big now this push is, Jolie.
Oh, definitely. Whether that is a manager factor or a player factor, like Mo said, there's not enough players in the dressing room that have got across the line in whatever competition that may be. So hopefully that is a good indicator that City can go on. And yes, I do believe City will go on to win the games. It's just whether Arsenal can get a result next week.
Yeah. How big in recent years is this game? Have we had one at this stage of the season between the top two so significant?
No, I think it's been a long time since we've had one as important as this. I thought the League Cup final a few weeks ago was that when I was asked the question, will that affect the title race? I was like, well, not really. It's a cup. It stands alone. But I think the way the Arsenal players' body language was after the cup final was quite telling, and I don't think they've recovered properly from that. I know they went to Lisbon and they won in the Champions League, but that's a gimme for Arsenal. It's not because Lisbon are not a good side, but because the pressure's off there. But since then, I just felt the whole club, even you hear the fans talking and in the group chats you're in and everything. There's just a nervousness and just a massive amount of fear that's in that club. And Mikel Arteta has to find a solution, or you'll be crowning Pep champion again in a few weeks' time.
They'd lost, Michael, 3 games in 52 in all competitions, and they've suddenly, from nowhere, lost 3 of the last 4 at completely the wrong time.
Exactly. And what can you say? I mean, I must admit, I've been defending Arsenal to lots and lots of people that always say to me, "Oh yeah, they always bottle at the end." I'm like, do they? I mean, I can remember when Manchester City, before they won the league for the first time a long time ago, they would be coming second and third and getting closer and closer. And Liverpool came second a few times, actually. You know, Liverpool have won it a couple of times in the last decade. They've come second a lot of times as well. You know, you need to sort of build into winning the league. There's only Leicester that have pretty much gone bump out of nowhere and won a league. Virtually every team needs to get better and better.
How long can you build for?
Well, exactly. And if they don't win it this year, then of course my theory's out the window. I'll agree with everyone. But in the main, I've been thinking it's a little bit harsh. Arsenal have been doing particularly well in recent years, getting closer. Semi-final of a Champions League last season, second in the league. They've been winning the odd trophy as well. You know, I've been giving them a little bit of slack, I must admit. However, I'll be giving them a little bit of stick if they throw this one away.